Barrow County school bus driver was arrested after student finds gun inside of a purse on the way to school. New information on the suspect in the hit-and-run incident that left a Barrow man injured. Art and science, the ingredients for a fun learning environment in Jackson County schools.
I'm most excited for seeing all the butterflies hanged up in our school system. And I'm excited to see everyone's butterflies mixed together.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Paige Watkins.
I'm Isaiah Joseph with your weather.
And I'm Bailey Walker with sports.
Barrow County Sheriff's Office is investigating a bus driver after a gun was found by a student riding the bus. Katie Anderson is live at Sims Academy with the latest.
Hey Paige, yesterday morning a student here at Sims Academy brought a purse that he found on his bus to school administration that contained a gun. I spoke to Assistant Superintendent Ken Green about what happened.
Our school administration immediately secured the gun and turned the situation over to Barrow County Sheriff's Office, our school resource officer, for investigation. At that time, it was pretty quickly determined that the purse and the contents of the purse belonged to one of our school bus drivers.
And that school bus driver was identified as Mary Jo Hall. Barrow County schools are waiting to take any further disciplinary actions against Hall until the full report is released. But Dr. Green assured me that Hall is on leave and will not be driving any more of their buses until the investigation is complete. Back to you, Paige.
Thank you, Katie. The Jefferson City Fire Department is working with Georgia Traffic Incident Management Enhancement Force, or TIME, in order to increase emergency response team safety and efficiency. Grady Newsource reporter Marissa Hernandez has the story.
The Jefferson City Fire Department hosted a meeting for the Georgia Traffic Incident Management Force at the Jackson County Fire Station this morning. Firefighters, police officers, EMTs, tow truck workers, and individuals from all sectors of the traffic management community attended. The Georgia Times Force mission is to facilitate the safest and fastest roadway clearance. The task force expanded their coverage from the metro Atlanta area to the rest of Georgia in 2017 in order to create statewide management. Barrow, Clark, Elbert, Jackson, Madison, Oconee, and Oglethorpe County Emergency and Traffic Services are part of the Athens Regional Team. Responders can get to know each other and learn how to communicate at meetings, so when they respond to a situation, they can problem solve more efficiently. Mark Duke, Jefferson Fire Department Chief, says he is concerned with officer safety and he hopes this collaboration will benefit Jackson County.
This is our first meeting in Jackson County. We hope from this meeting that we'll branch out into our TIME, or TIM team, if you will, Traffic Incident Management Team for Jackson County, which again should bring a lot of these people back together to continue working to make this better for our county.
The task force focuses on responder safety, but it is also working to make sure the roads are safer for motorists as well.
To improve motorist safety by reducing the amount of congestion that's out on the roadway they're having to deal with.
Quarterly and annual meetings are held throughout the state of Georgia. Within Georgia, there are 15 regions, and Athens is considered region number 4. Marissa Hernandez for Grady Newsource.
The TIME Task Force will be holding a meeting with the UGA Police in late October, which will be open to the public. Personal voter information in the entire state of Georgia could be compromised after 2 check-in computers were stolen from a precinct in Fulton County. The computers contained information such as names, addresses, and birth dates, but not social security numbers. Atlanta police are still trying to receive and retrieve the missing machines. Georgia will introduce new voting machines for the 2020 presidential primary election. The upgraded machines will ensure higher quality security and tracking capabilities moving forward. Students at the school in Jackson County are combining art and science to show the community how fun and creative learning can be.
I just think art is such a good opportunity to teach so many things, and the kids are so involved in it that they really hang on to that. And I think it shows them that art is everywhere, it's in everything.
Art teacher Katie Gibo is bringing a different kind of learning to her students. Here at Gum Springs Elementary School, students are getting a unique learning experience by drawing butterflies. The science and art collaboration has been in the works for a long time. Miss Gibo has been working with the school's science lab teacher to create a project that combines standard learning and creativity.
We've been talking about it throughout the summer, some last year, about how we could connect science lab with what they're learning in art. So we've just been working on that.
Children at Gum Springs Elementary have been drawing butterflies for the past 3 weeks. The students are learning about butterflies in their normal science classes and continuing that learning in Miss Gibo's art class. Kids are also drawing butterflies in the hopes to get their art featured in the local Hurricane Shoals art show. Abby Campbell and Olivia Nicholson are two of the kids chosen to display their art at the show this weekend.
When I found out about it, I'm like, oh, cool. I get to go on the art show.
These kids hope the art show will be an opportunity to show the community what they are learning in a fun way.
It'll give them art, give them some art choices so that they can start doing different art kind of techniques.
This show, I think, is based mainly on the art and just the community, the kids' art within the community. And then that's getting the parents involved too when they head out to see their kids' art, and then the kids get a lot of pride from that, seeing their artwork up.
Grady Newsource, Peyton Lewis.
The Hurricane Shoals Art Show, taking place this Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. will display each butterfly for the community to see. Up next, Barrow County students are awarded money for college, and why Bolton Dining Commons was evacuated today.
Hello.
Hi. I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you, and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes, the sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away. Not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign, those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me MAXIE, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Four Barrow County students made an emotional phone call home, but they were crying tears of joy as Grady Newsource College reporter Wangeshi Waroa found out.
I wanted to tell you I got it.
This is the scene at Westside Middle School after one student told her parent that they are one of 4 middle school students in Barrow County to receive $10,000 through the Georgia Reach program.
Program coordinator Sherry Perry says the monetary amount is not all the students are receiving. They will also receive an academic coach that is assigned to them through the high schools, as well as a mentor that will meet with them regularly, and school faculty that will check in on the students.
Even though the scholarship is not awarded until the students begin college, Perry said the support begins well before that.
I think it's just the amount of support that the students get is the real treasure here. And they have it from the time they start until they graduate.
The award can be used in any Hope-eligible college in Georgia. Wangeshiwarawe, Grady Newsource.
First recipients of REACH are seniors now, and Perry said that she is excited to see how the scholarships help them during their academic career. Students and employees evacuated the Bolton Dining Commons today during the lunch rush. Everyone had to exit the building after an alarm went off. The fire department arrived and cleared the premises for re-entry. The dining hall is now back open for service until 9 p.m. tonight. The cause of what set off the alarm has not been disclosed to public.
I'm Bailey Walker with sports. It's Notre Dame week, but that's not all that's going on in Athens. Stick around after the break. We'll be talking about a UGA tennis star and why you might want to be a little friendlier to Notre Dame fans this weekend.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
And now, sports.
I'm Bailey Walker with sports. UGA men's golf was on the road this week, and it paid off for them when they finished first at the Jim Rivers Intercollegiate Tournament yesterday. Georgia's own Davis Thompson was the lowest scorer, rounding out the three-day tournament at 7 below 216. The Bulldogs lagged behind Lamar University on Sunday, but held their own Monday and Tuesday, securing their victory at Squire Creek Country Club in Louisiana. Davis Thompson shot 6 birdies yesterday, helping the team finish 6 shots ahead of second place Texas State. Thompson says the win helps the team gain a little confidence moving forward into the rest of the season. Also in the top scorers for the Dogs were sophomore Trent Phillips in 5th, and freshman Connor Creasy made his NCAA debut, finishing 11th. The team is currently ranked number 7, and while they didn't play any Division I teams this week, they'll play D1 teams including Florida, Clemson, and Duke at the Nike Invitational in Oregon at the end of this month. 2 years after the University of Georgia traveled up to South Bend, Indiana, fans are still talking about how courteous the folks were at Notre Dame. That's why I headed over to Sanford Stadium today to show you where UGA's hospitality team will be repaying the favor. Everyone knows how the 2017 game against Notre Dame ended up. Quarterback Jake Fromm started for the Bulldogs for the first time. Kicker Rodrigo Blankenship got put on scholarship, and the Bulldogs eked out a victory against Notre Dame, 20-19. But fans left South Bend talking about something else, not just the game. It was Notre Dame fans' hospitality.
A lot of people were saying just how wonderful they had been treated at Notre Dame.
So this gave Bill Barstow an idea. The retired biology professor founded the Silver Dogs to make visiting fans feel at home in Athens, just like Dogs fans felt at home at Notre Dame.
To the folks coming in from Notre Dame, we want them to go home and say, man, you should go to Georgia. They are the most hospitable people you could ever see.
And now it's time to repay the favor, with Notre Dame fans heading down to Georgia in masses this weekend. You might recognize the Silver Dogs in their straw hats near the Arch Chapel Bell or right here outside Sanford Stadium, ready to lend a helping hand.
If people are there and they have a camera, we try to help them and take pictures if they're a couple or something like that, or a family, and just make them feel that they're having a good time and being a good host.
So what's the best way to be good hosts to Notre Dame fans that are coming all the way to Georgia this weekend?
Say, we're glad you're here, nice to see you. Is there anything we can help you with? Anything that would make you feel like, well, these people are happy that we're here.
So if you see a silver dog in a straw hat on game day, make sure to say hello. Intercollegiate Tennis Association ranks were released yesterday, and UGA tennis player Katarina Jokic is on top. The All-American junior and Bosnia native was ranked as the #1 singles player in the NCAA at the end of last season and held onto her spot after an impressive 3-0 weekend at the Puerto Rico Fall Classic on Sunday. Because of her #1 ranking, she gets to play at the prestigious Oracle ITA Masters in Malibu, California, starting on September 26th. Jokic was also the 2019 Intercollegiate Tennis Association's Player of the Year and helped the team secure the SEC championship. She also plays doubles with freshman Leah Ma, and the duo is ranked 22nd overall after going 2-0 this weekend. Also ranked in a top spot for singles players is UGA senior Marta Gonzalez at number 13 and junior Vivian Wolf at 37. For sports, I'm Bailey Walker.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Joseph, and I'm just going to give you a brief tropical update. So right now we have our eyes on 3 tropical storms. Hurricane Humberto is right here. It is right now considered a Category 3 hurricane. It has winds of 120 miles per hour and is moving 16 miles per hour east-northeast. So it's kind of moving this way out of mainland's way, but it has led to many advisories being issued on the Georgia coastline, the South Carolina coastline, and the North Carolina coastline for stronger rip currents in the area. We also have an update on Tropical Storm Jerry, which is expected to reach hurricane status a little later on. It has winds of 50 miles per hour right now, and it is moving at 14 miles per hour west-northwest. So right now it should be making its way this way, possibly impacting these islands a little bit later. That's something to keep an eye on. As updates come, we'll definitely update you guys as well. And then, didn't mean to click that. We also have Tropical Depression Imelda, which has an impact on Texas. It has maximum sustained winds currently at 30 miles per hour, and it is moving very slow at 5 miles per hour. It is causing a threat for flooding in the area, so that's something to also keep in mind. If you have families in any of these impact areas, just please check up on them. You know, it could have some minor to moderate impacts on that area. So again, that's your tropical update, and I will be with you guys soon for your weather forecast. Stay tuned.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
The weather.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Joseph, and today I'm here to present you with your weather update. We're going to start with your local 5-day forecast, and then we'll move on to the most anticipated game of the season, Georgia and Notre Dame's weather forecast. How's the weather going to be that night? We have you here. But we're going to start with our 5-day forecast, and the common theme that you can see is that we're not hitting those 90-degree marks that we normally hit. Today we have a high of 82 and a low of 63. Thursday, we have a high of 80 and a low of 56, so that's very low, almost in the 70s. Friday, high of 83, a low of 56. Saturday and Sunday, highs of higher 80s, lows 59 for Saturday and 60 for Sunday. The weather is a lot cooler, and as you can see, sunny weather throughout the week. There is a small 15 to 20% chance of rain today, but it will mostly be cloudy skies. But are we finally getting out of this summer weather and into the fall weather? Not so quite. Unfortunately, the weather will warm up again next week, and as you can see at the later end of the week, the weather is warming up as well. So that's something to keep in mind, but definitely enjoy the cooler weather while you have it. Let's go into the evening planner. The evening planner, you can just see a steady decline in temperature from 78 degrees around 6 o'clock p.m. and around midnight we'll have 67-degree weather, so a lot cooler. And then as you wake up tomorrow, 65-degree weather, so it'll be a lot cooler. Around 77 around 3 o'clock p.m. So the weather will warm up and it will get a little bit warmer afterwards, but not so much, still pretty cool. But I know what you're here for, game day weather. How is the weather going to be Saturday night? We have you here, 59-degree low, mostly clear skies, winds light and variable. I think the most important thing to notice is the 59-degree weather. So I would possibly bring maybe a light jacket just to prepare for the lower temperatures, but it should be a great game. Again, I'm Isaiah Joseph, and I just present you with your weather forecast. Thank you.
Coming next, what you can expect from game day traffic and advice on where to park on campus.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
The University of Georgia vs. Notre Dame game is set to bring in record-breaker tourism in Athens. Grady Newsource reporter Ashlyn Webb spoke with Athens-Clarke County Police and the University of Georgia Police Department to learn plans for security, parking, and traffic for Saturday's game.
Yeah, Paige, this weekend's game means more people in the city and more vehicles on the road. ACCPD and UGA police have been making security plans to accommodate for larger crowds for this game for months now. UGA police told me they're still planning on collaborating with surrounding law enforcement agencies to help with security. However, they're not releasing all of their plans for security reasons. And most importantly, police have been planning on traffic. This is going to affect everyone, game attendees and local residents, including those in outside counties. ACCPD says the traffic plan is to direct all vehicles away from campus and downtown areas and towards the Georgia 10 loop. This plan is designed to get vehicles off smaller roads that are not designed for heavy traffic. Now, once vehicles get onto the Georgia 10 loop, you can exit onto highways such as US 129, 441, US 29, US 78, and then State Route 15 as well as State Route 316. Here's a few tips from Athens-Clarke County Police Department for traffic. Arrive early to the game. Be ready to anticipate traffic delays before and after the game. And lastly, do not ask officers for directions while they're directing traffic to speed up the process of getting vehicles out of campus and downtown area. Paige, back to you.
Thanks, Ashlyn. Athens-Clarke County Police says you can tune in to AM 6050 for an up-to-date traffic, parking, and emergency information throughout Saturday evening. Thank you so much for joining us at Grady Newsource. The news doesn't stop here. If you want more news, check out gradynewsource.uga.edu, our website, or our social media platforms for more news. This is Paige Watkins.
I'm Isaiah Joseph.
And I'm Bailey Walker.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
This is the Grady Newsource post-show critique. This is the Grady Newsource.
today. I think that was probably our cleanest show of the semester that I've seen from our side and from your side. So, but yeah, I really don't have that much to say to you guys. Like, everything was dropped on time, everything was done early, everything was approved on time, and you delivered. So that's what we like. Do you have anything? Not really.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. I think our side did a great job. Sam doesn't want to talk, but he directed today, and it was so clean. There was only one issue, and it wasn't even Sam's fault. It was just something with the technology. Yeah, literally, what a good show. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of how we did today. Julia, hi.
I'm the digital producer for this week. So just to start off digitally, we have a lot of new things that we tried. Taylor put out a really cool Twitter thread about vaping, and then we posted on Facebook about that, and then also we posted 2 articles today before the 5 o'clock deadline and edited it and everything. So yeah, I think overall we did really well. So that's all I have.
Wow, I like it. So far, so good. So let's see what the rest of our management team thinks.
You guys are great today. Everybody put in really good packages with really good B-roll. I was noticing the variety in B-roll, and it was really smooth. And you gave us nice visuals. I wasn't boring. It wasn't boring at all. I was like, wow, my classmates are doing this. It looks really good. Thank you guys.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not my fault. I got it.
And
So we got the mic. Who needs this?
with us and keeping us up to date. Thank you so much. You guys were absolutely.
It's either not on or something's wrong.
And Sky.
She needs to stay.
Yeah, you guys, we all worked together really well today. Communication was pretty strong on your guys' end. Up here, we had a couple mishaps on a few things got overlooked. But overall, really good job on keeping to deadlines, getting the leads and tags in, and even if you weren't here, getting them sent to me or Jada so we could put them in so Professor V could prove them. Also, really good job today about putting lower thirds. I know you guys made a conscious effort to put those in. It looked good, but nice job getting the packages in ahead of time too. We had 2 minutes to spare today, so that was really, really good. So nice job.
Wisdom, just like Katie did with you, so that the person who takes over from you next week knows how they can take our show up to the next level.
I would say a big thing is go all the way through the rundown before everything is approved. That way you know if something has changed and you're not aware of it, just being more aware of the content that could have possibly been changed, as well as the timing of everything. It was really helpful to have a little bit extra time to kind of go through all of the pre-recorded clips and watch them and punch in the times. Also, one thing I did run into was one of the times was a minute off. So it threw me off a little bit in the room, but I was kind of prepared for it, prepared to drop a reader or two up the weather, which was good, and I hope I wasn't annoying them too much, with the 1 minute weather, 2 minute weather, 3 minute weather. But it definitely did help to go through and look at all the times when everyone is finished with their packages or their SOTs or whatever it is. So if you have more time before the show actually starts, I would definitely do that and just make sure that the show flows well, as well as I think the big thing of it as a producer is you need to see the big picture of the show. I'm a details person, so this really caused me to truly look at the content that I had and see how well it was flowing together. There were some changes when we were doing the broadcast that I wish I had made before I approved certain things, which wouldn't have happened if I was looking at the bigger picture and the grand scheme of things. And just making sure that you're communicating well with the leadership team, as well as your TV MMJs and anyone who's providing content.
Thank you. I wanted to say how impressed I am that this is our 4th show and you've improved by leaps and bounds. This was such a clean show. Everything was on time. The packages were interesting. We worked really hard on a few things today, and one of them was with the show flow and just making sure that your top story is something that is visually, that's very important, that you have good visuals, and that you make a strong start. And we had a little hiccup in the beginning. We didn't know our top story. Katie worked so hard on it, but she was a nervous wreck in the beginning because she had made so many calls. She had written so many emails and people weren't getting back to her, and that was our top story. And again, she just miraculously managed to pull things off. We sent her out and we started our show with a strong live. I liked her background. The only thing is I would ask her not to smile that much. I think it was, we smile, I know that I've done it too. You smile not because you're happy, but because you're nervous. So, and she did such a great job. I would have asked her not to smile that much, but just securing a last-minute call, which she asked to be recorded, so we had this soundbite. She thought of an interesting graphic, and just, put our show on a nice dynamic start, which was so important, and which I talked to Jada and Skylar, how important it is to always think about your first story, think about having a live off the top of your show, or at least in the A block, because it creates dynamic. It's a different kind of energy that starts off your show, so that the rest of you will get the attention. We'll keep our viewers, and they will trust that this show will continue to bring interesting things to the viewers. So I think that was a little lesson that I tried for us to learn today. Another lesson I tried also to work with all of you again, because we just have this, we talked about it's human nature to start with Once Upon a Time. And there were a lot of Once Upon a Time leads and scripts, and you guys got it real fast. I just had to again remind all of you to start a lead with the essence of what was happening. And you worked you worked with me on that. We worked on a few packages in which we made them better by starting with an interesting piece of video. I loved the stand-ups. All of you had very interesting stand-ups, and you tried very hard to do good scripts. Another little lesson that we also continue to practice is the sound bites, that they should always have an introductory sentence. And I worked with all of you, and you immediately followed, and I'll keep reminding you how important it is. And of course, how important it is to think of always that first sentence. And with Wangeshi, we talked about, she wanted to start with a stand-up, which worked very well with Bailey because it was sports and because most of what she did was on camera with the stadium behind her. So sometimes it works, but usually with a package, unless you're live, it's better to start with a strong video or nat sound. And since Wangeshi got this amazing video with people cheering that they got a scholarship, so we decided that she shouldn't start with a stand-up because we love her presence and she did a wonderful stand-up, but it came a little bit later. We decided to use it as stand-ups should be used for information that you don't have video for. So we decided to use it to explain the program as opposed to starting the package started with a stand-up. And so it was wonderful the way you started the package with that video you were able to obtain from the school where the students were cheering, and I love the way you ended it with people cheering again, because this is what this package was about. It was a story about people, about young people who would avoid those, the crippling loans. And also she brought in some more depth by having the
program organizer talking about what it means that they get extra support even during class. So that was very good. I just kept like ongoing notes while we had our live show just to see what else. Peyton, really nice stand-up with that butterfly. I knew you would surprise me, and it was very, very nice. The kids, you had very nice B-roll, but again, Brittany she's been on B-roll watch today, so watch out what she's going to say, because I asked her to look and see how we did, because remember we decided that our priority this week would be to have better B-rolls. So let's see how we did and what we can improve, and in a little while we'll have her weigh in on that. But I liked the close-ups, and the video was very good. Wangeshi, your video was wonderful. Bailey, very nice presentation, relaxed and welcoming, and I think it worked very well for you to, you brought us, the transition from the studio to the stadium was very smooth, the way you had that sentence. We talked about it, you were struggling, how should I do it, and you came up with a wonderful transition, and it was just great for a sports presentation to have you partly in the studio live, and then you gave a good transition explanation why all of a sudden we saw you in the stadium. Very nice, nice writing, nice presentation. So thank you for that. Oh, just one thing. I had to nitpick, but your guest, his name was Bill. Did you notice the mic, how it kind of, the wire of the mic, if you could have asked him to tuck it into his shirt, that would have been perfect. But just a little thing for all of us, it's happened to me. You don't think of these little details, but then when you look at them on the air, they could be distracting. So for all of us, note to self, the mics, if they could be tucked in, especially on a white shirt with a black mic, it's too noticeable. So that's the only thing I would say. Isaiah, very nice weather, a natural, enjoyed the weather forecast and how you summarized things, and at certain points you kept very naturally taking us through the temperatures without reading every single temperature, but giving us a trend, telling us, I saw how much you enjoyed telling us that finally we have a little respite from the heat. And Neil, our engineer, also noticed how well you presented the weather and that trend, and he suggested that if you look down where the smart screen is, you could pick up the red marker, and instead of using your hand to show us the direction of the storms, you could, next time you do this, you could use the red marker, and you could actually write on the screen and show us the direction or circle the storm. We decided to experiment with the NOAA opening up those pop-up boxes. That worked out very well. Thank you for trying. He tried a little innovation today, and that worked wonderful. Just a little bit on the storms, again, a little bit just tentative at times, but otherwise everything was just wonderful. Thank you for trying that little innovation with the pop-up screens, and very, very nice presentation, both of you. And Paige, I'm sorry, I should have started with you. Very nice presentation. I think I scared you a little too much, so you didn't dare smile anywhere. You could have smiled a little at the end, and also ahead of Peyton's package. But I know I told you not to smile, but I meant it off the top, when you have a series. But otherwise, very solid, very natural, beautiful presentation. And we can just go over, and I can show you where you shouldn't have followed my don't smile orders. And but very, very well done. Thank you for writing those readers, which were not easy to write, and you worked very hard to write them with short sentences. We worked on another thing with all of you, not to bury the lead. Even our top story, the lead was written in a way that actually our top story, the lead had no setup sentence. It just had, we're going live to so-and-so who's standing here and here. So I worked with Katie and she changed her lead. These are just things that you don't think about. So we worked on that with other leads. We also worked again not to do the Once Upon a Time. Those were, and I think our show just looked wonderful because all of you really catch things very fast and you respond. And but Paige, wonderful presentation, very solid. You're natural. You're very talented. We were just trying to get the right tone, and we're going to get there because I know I scared you into not smiling, and I didn't mean for you not to smile at all, but everything was wonderful. You worked so hard to understand each and every story, to read each and every package so that you know, and it shows that you know. Same with Isaiah, same with Bailey. It shows that you guys know your stuff. You're convincing, you're pleasant, you're solid. All three of you, very good presentation. Very proud of you. Let me see what else I wanted to say. Yeah, and that's about all I wanted to say. I'm really proud. I'm really, the digital content was wonderful. Also, I wanted to say, Taylor, I really enjoyed the Twitter feed that you did. That was very creative with very interesting information. And am I leaving someone out? Good management. Just we also learned a little bit more about good communication. We had at one point we hadn't communicated well enough with you to inform you about certain things that had changed, but we talked about how we can work better, and we figured it out. There was just this point of growing pains with everything, but I think we learned a lot about many things, and you guys are very fast learners, and I was tough on all of you because I just tried to give you as much as possible instructions so that I think the end product was a result of all of you working so hard to make this happen. I think this was a wonderful show, and people wouldn't know how many things we worked so hard. And this is, Katie, thank you so much for making the top of our show. I was just singing your praises of how you managed to get a soundbite on the phone. Nobody would talk to you. Nobody would return your emails, and you kept persisting, and this is the result of persistence. We didn't give up on you. We kept thinking that you will pull it off, and we'll have a nice live shot and a nice top story to start our show with. And thank you so much. There was, I have to nitpick. There was just one thing, you were smiling. But that I know you did it because you were nervous and because you worked so hard and you were so tired with everything we made you do, and you worked. Actually, she worked on 2 stories at the same time because Barrow County was just full of news today. And so thank you for making our show, for injecting energy in it from the very top with your live shot, with a compelling story. Everything was great, and I really thank you for trying so hard and to start our show in such a powerful way. I think we pulled off a great show, thanks to all of you. Marissa, I didn't say how much I liked your package. I think I skipped you, and I'm so sorry. The package was very strong, a very interesting topic. I love the way you tweaked the lead once I pointed out, like with all of you, to kind of change it from the Once Upon a Time to really the essence of a very important training program that you brought us. Very nice close-ups. I just like, why were they eating so much food? I guess it helps with the training, but again, you had very interesting shots. I noticed that at one point, I think you were like shooting from, from a lower point, showing us, you were you were actually at the level of the table, and you were there was just some very innovative ways of where you had some very interesting B-roll. But again, I'm going to allow now Brittany to tell us how we did on B-roll. And yeah.
Yeah, so looking at B-roll this week, I think everyone did an amazing job. It was all really strong. I was going to highlight Marissa's package, a ton of different angles and different locations, and it was just very creative. And I would just say moving forward, you know, keep getting as many close-up shots as you can get. You want that to be the majority of your B-roll, and to really make sure you're writing to the video that you have, because if you know you have great B-roll, you want to highlight that in your writing, especially your VOs, so that what we're hearing is really matching what we're seeing on screen. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a great job this week, so.
So wonderful. Thank you, guys. And I just want to hear from you in our remaining moments. What was, now that we're looking back at another successful week, we took things to a higher level. I loved the show. I loved what you did, each and every one of you. But is there something you want to share, as now we will be changing our roles in the next week? Anything you want to share with the people who will be taking on your roles next week? A little advice, a lesson learned, something that worked really well that you would like to pass on, that people could develop or have in mind to try out. Any one of you wants to share? Lesson learned, something that worked really good.
I think digitally, I really like how we tried a lot of different new things with Taylor's like Twitter thread, and then I feel like we should do more Twitter threads in the future, because I think it was like a very good, like informative way to have a lot of information. So I'm excited for what we're doing in the future.
Wonderful. Skylar, anything that you,
I think some of the systems that we came up with regarding, like in the morning, how to divvy up the digital and TV MMJs, how you guys were very pro-apt to helping this week. When we were down on Monday with Vengeshi not being able to be here, that was really helpful, and how we all work together as a team. Now we all have CAN on our laptops, so hopefully we can edit in the field. And then this week we were really good about sending. Peyton sent clips while she was out, so we could get the pre-tease in and knew what our SOT was, or visual, so we could write better to that.
Yes,
so
that's another thing we tried to have something interesting. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. So visually seeing that was really helpful.
We really worked on our pre-tease to make it more interesting, because we have a master of teases, writer, producer. So we wanted to
give her something to work with, so
to work
use her
with,
creativity.
and Peyton delivered. And that is something for you to always think about when you're out in the field. Do you have an interesting piece of soundbite that we could feature right off the top, you know, and tease your piece? So think about that.
There was one other thing, like we had really great B-roll today, but when it's in the package, let's not forget to, like sometimes on some of the packages we dropped the sound for the B-roll, so to leave it up just a little bit so we hear the nat, and so it's not just like a VO talking over it or your track.
Oh yes, and I noticed that a lot of the packages had very uneven sound. I'm sorry I have to say it, but if you could pay attention more to the sound and listen to your packages once you have edited them, or while you're editing, I'm sure that you will notice the difference in the level of sound. It was a little jarring in most of the stories. So if maybe that could be, if we have to set ourselves one goal for next week, what would you want to focus on? We focused on B-roll this week. What should we focus on next week? I think sound levels would be very important if we can look at that, and everything should be at -12. Let's set ourselves, and I'm writing that down to hold us to it, that
I also think it would be good to try to reach out to your sources earlier, just because I know a couple people had a little bit of trouble because you had to like wait for the source to like answer you back and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and a lot of you were very well organized. All of you tried very hard to be organized as much as you could. Some of you were working on stories like Wangeshi, and Katie had started on different stories the day before, which weren't panning out, and they very quickly managed to transition into their plan B and pulled it off, because that's what we're about. We want to do news. And so you may have been working on, like Katie, you were working on a very serious gas prices story, which we can continue to work on, and nothing is lost. As I told Katie, she had contacted already experts on the Middle East to explain to us the attacks on the Saudi facilities and how they were affecting crude oil prices around the world, and we wanted to see if that would affect the gas prices at the pump, which is a very complex story but very important. We all care about gas prices because we all have to use our cars to go to work, and so that's something we will continue to monitor. It will always be important, and those contacts you're building up of people who can give you that information are very important for us to have. Plus, I would also advise you to reach out to AAA about gas prices, about anything related to traffic and cars, and develop contacts, since you seem to like that little beat kind of thing. So we have that. That's another thing we can develop because that matters. When you have those contacts, it's easier to do day-off stories. So that when I thank you for all of you being so flexible, and really, I think you should feel very good about this week. And congratulations on the progress that we made. And I wasn't easy on you. I know that all of you came tentatively to me for script approval because you knew I would ask you to do things differently, and you responded, and that was wonderful. And everybody was very good about having me approve their scripts or working with me through the process. I really, really appreciate that. I also appreciate another thing, I think, your suggestion, both of you, to put in, and I think it was Jada and Skylar, to put in the information like links and stuff for me in the template where you have the show ideas. That worked out very good because I was able to have everything in one place day before to look at things so I could be faster and better in approving things. So thank you. That worked very well. That was a great idea, and I thank you for thinking about me and thinking about that. Anybody else would like to add something, talk about something? Let's give you a mic.
But earlier, Skylar kind of came to everyone and put can on all of our laptops. So I think that was super nice,
Thank
and
you,
that's
Skylar.
going to
I
be
didn't
really
know that.
beneficial moving
Yeah.
forward. Even if we're out in the field and we can't, put leads and tags or whatever in can. So, yeah, shout outs to her.
Yeah. Thank you, Skylar. I'm writing that down. So, anything else?
I was going to say too, I guess next week we can work on being more comfortable with our camera kits. I feel like a lot of our class hasn't really dealt with the JVC cameras before because we are used to our own at Grady. We have to get our own DSLR cameras when we start, so we've grown comfortable with them. And now we have this massive clunky thing to carry around, and a lot of us don't know what to do with it. So I think that maybe asking Mr. Black if he can come in and help us get more comfortable would be really helpful. Learning the auto white balancing feature on the camera would be super helpful for everybody too. And then also, I'm free on Fridays, so if anybody needs help with Keynote or Premiere or anything like that, I'm happy to do it. But I feel like too we can become more comfortable with graphics and things like that. Putting cool little pops of that in our packages would be really fun too, and it makes you feel so good when you do it. So yeah.
So the two things for next week we're going to work on audio. and white balance, and try to become more comfortable with the professional gear, and try to keep working on the leads, the once upon a time, getting rid of the once upon a time, and really focusing on what makes your story unique and news. I'm very happy I kind of wrap up this week. Really proud of all of you. And Wellesley, I'm sorry I didn't mention how well you wrote your article for the web.
We go now. All right, guys, thanks. That's our show. I'm Will.
I'm Rachel.
Good night.